Come join me as we paint this fall maple leaf. We're going to be using an embossing tool partway through our painting. We're going to be using permanent red deep, burnt sienna, azo yellow, little moonglow in the end for the shadow, and we can't forget our orange. I start off by just wetting the whole leaf. Our leaf is going to be a wet on wet technique, so each layer of paint we put on will be on this first watery mixture, because we just want all those colors to kind of blend and spread softly. If you look farther down in the description, I share with you a PDF line drawing, so you could just trace this if you wanted to and kind of skip having to draw it yourself and just get straight to the painting. Just kind of taking a smaller brush here so I can get around the edges. Just kind of fill that in. Now we're going to drop in our yellow. My favorite yellow is azo yellow medium. It's a nice, warm, vibrant yellow, but really you could use whatever yellow you have. Fall and autumn leaves tend to be on the warmer tones, so that's why I'm picking this warm yellow. This is just going to be our full base layer, and this yellow is just going to kind of pop through in places and give a really nice base to our leaf. Just going to get a little more deep color in there. Now we're going to just drop in our orange, kind of going around the edges, but also just dropping a little bit in the middle. It's going to end up looking like texture in the end. Just kind of see how that orange kind of melts into the yellow. Now I'm just dropping in my permanent red deep. It's almost like you're mixing the colors on the page. You have that yellow and then the orange and then the red. They're all wet and they kind of melt together and kind of create a new color. But you also see each color on their own. It'll just add some depth and interest in the end. Just slowly building the color. Now I'm coming in with my embossing tool and just kind of scraping along the paper, and the darkest of the color just kind of melts into that line, creating that veining, and once it dries it'll be a little bit deeper and it just looks very natural. Now if you don't have an embossing tool, then you could use the end of a paintbrush, you could use a sharp edge of pretty much anything, as long as it doesn't tear the paper, that it's just pushing that paper in a little bit. I just happen to have an embossing tool, so I thought, hey, why not use that? Now our leaf is still wet. I'm just bringing in some more of that red, kind of bring that vibrancy back up again. I'm going to mix in a little of that burnt sienna and a little bit of that red to kind of give that rusty fall color. I'm just going to kind of use that right at the tip of the leaf. This kind of adds a little more depth in there. This leaf is really starting to come to life. Got my number 1 brush here so I can really get to the very tips of this leaf. The other fall leaf that you see on the page, I've done a tutorial for. I'll try to link it there up at the top. I also did a couple really fun techniques on that leaf that I think you would really enjoy. Now I'm going to let my leaf dry, and now we're going to be working on the shadow of the leaf. I'm using my Daniel Smith Moonglow. It's one of my favorite colors for shadows. It's kind of a purpley blue gray color, and it just makes a really great color for shadows. Just kind of going slowly and softly. I can add more deep color if I need to, but right now I'm just trying to figure out where the shadow belongs. Just taking a watery brush here and just kind of softening that shadow a little bit. Don't want it to be too harsh. And I'm just taking some of that Moonglow, really watery, and just kind of dropping it in a few places on the leaf to kind of give the leaf a little more dimension, kind of where the leaf might curl or just have a little imperfection. But I just want to put it in there really lightly, just to give a hint of that dimension, kind of giving a little depth of the veining. And there you have it, your fall maple leaf. Are you willing to give it a try?